honest, after trying out the ROG Xbox Ally, I was quite underwhelmed. The ROG Xbox Ally is a brand new gaming handheld hitting the scene from both Asus, ROG, and Xbox, as the name suggests. I was able to give the handheld a try at Gamescom 2025, and here is what I think. There are two iterations of the device, the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X, which is a slightly more powerful device with a better processor, higher battery capacity, and more RAM. Now, both devices, and this is kind of my opinion formulated off of both of them. So first of all, let's talk about design. Funky shape kind of drew me in. You get this ergonomic grip instead of just the standard oblong that all handhelds are. The grips were super comfortable and actually made for a much better play experience, especially over a long period of time. I wasn't constantly like adjusting my grip whilst playing. I literally wasn't even thinking about it. I could just hold the thing and it was fine, which is actually new for me because most other handhelds, even though they're comfortable, I'm constantly adjusting my grip. You get two colorways of the device. The base model, which I'm referring to as such since it doesn't have the X on the end of the name, comes in white, and then the X comes in black, and these aren't mix and match, so you can't get the more powerful processor in white. Sorry. Comes in at 715 grams, which is heavier than the original Asus ROG Ally, and you can not only feel the difference but actually see it in the depth of the device. It is really thick, and whilst Xbox's whole thing is now Xbox Play Anywhere, I don't know if I'd be actually playing this anywhere because it feels like it's quite big and hefty. Like, I'm not going to be able to chuck that in my bag. Of course, you get the standard Xbox controller button layout, as you'd expect. You also get two additional buttons on the back of the device, which are hexagonal, a little bit weird, but easily accessed and pushed when you need them. So, specifications. I'm going to pop the full specs on screen now. Some of the specifications between the two devices are different. Like I said earlier, the processor, RAM, and battery capacity are different between the two. The original device houses the AMD Ryzen Z2 processor, whereas the X houses the Extreme processor, giving it that little bit extra kick of power. Pairing with the extra powerful processor, you get a little bit more RAM, and you also get an 80 watt-hour capacity battery instead of 60 on the original device. And being honest, this is quite disappointing. Why could both models not just have the same higher battery capacity? Why was that not an option? Battery life is such a huge point of contention when it comes to gaming handhelds. That was the whole reason that Asus released the X in the first place, along with other issues, but battery was the main point. Xbox have the advantage of coming in slightly later and seeing what other manufacturers have done wrong and improving upon it. And it feels like they could have done that little bit extra, which they haven't. Of course, 80 watt hours is still great. It's market leading, on par with the Asus ROG Ally X, which released last year, as well as the MSI Claw, again, also 80 watt hours. But Xbox really had the opportunity to set themselves apart here, and they didn't. And I guess that's why I'm feeling a little bit disappointed. So how did I find it? Pretty good, but nothing groundbreaking. And being honest, this actually comes from the lack of power I was finding in the processor. AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme chip was meant to be a big step up from its predecessor that is housed in all of the other gaming handhelds on the market. So I was expecting this massive boost in performance that I just wasn't getting. It kind of just fell flat. After having used so many gaming handhelds, the ROG Xbox Ally just doesn't feel like that much of an upgrade over some of the options that are already available on the market. Games looked great, don't get me wrong, and I didn't get any choppy frames, but this is also the case with some of the older gaming handhelds that have the previous processor in it. I wasn't really noticing like a big difference, a big change. The graphics weren't significantly better, the frames weren't significantly higher. It was just kind of the same. Maybe I was getting incremental differences in performance, but obviously since this was a hands-on demo and not a full review session, I wasn't able to actually monitor the frames I was getting, so I can't confirm exact numbers. But just in my time with the device and playing it, it's hard to notice the difference on a surface level. Asus knows how to make gaming handhelds, and it knows how to do it exceptionally well, and that's why Xbox has gone to them to make their gaming handheld. The Asus ROG Ally X is one of my favorite gaming handhelds of all time. It has a big battery, it has an amazing screen, and it has a good enough processor in it to run the majority of games at decent graphics with decent frames. It only makes sense that Xbox partnered with Asus so they could hit the ground running. And unfortunately, they just haven't. Overall, this gaming handheld hasn't been bad by any means. It's just been a tad disappointing and didn't meet my expectations. It's still a decent gaming handheld, and if you're yet to buy into the gaming handheld scene, then this might be the one for you. But it's definitely not something that I would upgrade to if you've already got one. Are you thinking about picking up the ROG Xbox Ally? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like if you've enjoyed and subscribe for more Gamescom, gaming and tech content all coming soon. This has been Jasmine, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!